Hey everybody, it's Pete. Good morning. It is Wednesday morning, November 18th, 2020, and the futures markets are up a little bit today, which is kind of interesting. We haven't really pulled back from last week's gigantic gap, which is assuring, for lack of a better way of putting it. Nothing is guaranteed, but it's assuring. When we put our money on the line, when we're looking for new ideas, it's very interesting to see what, in the terminology that we use, a tape reading is we want feedback. We want to see price action, and then we want to see feedback. We want to put trades on and we want to get feedback. And that's the smart way to make money in the market. You want to start putting shares on as it moves in your favor. And if it doesn't move in your favor, you have the least amount of shares for losing trades. It's just really good math. So which kind of leads us into an idea today that has really good news that we're not going to buy. And it's kind of like setting up ideas where some days are ideas for today, some days are ideas to go into your watch list to pay attention to, because it might not be the optimal place to put a trade on, but it's still an idea you want to have in your watch list. So it's kind of interesting. We see a lot of new members come in and we see them chasing price. They'll run a scanner pre-market or after the market closes, and the next day they'll come in, this stock's up 40%, I want to buy it today. And those aren't trades that have the highest probability of getting paid. And that's really what we want to do together, right? Whether you're here on social media with me, or whether you're making investment in yourself and you join us in the boot camp, it really comes down to the whole reason we're having an interaction is we want to find the best ideas that have the best chance of paying us consistently. If you've been having a hard time in the last couple of months, which quite a few people have, it's because you haven't recognized the tape has changed. You've had to be a lot more sector specific. So to give you an example, we had solar stocks were on fire, and then the electric vehicle stocks were on fire, and we're still going to watch them today. But you need to pay attention. You need to have a watch list. You need to say, okay, the market was down for 2 days. What stocks were strong for the last 2 days? The market was up the last 2 days. Which stocks are showing relative strength in the direction of the market? It's not a lot of work, but if you want to get paid, look, we're doing this because we want that freedom that comes with being able to pull money out of the market. You got to go a little bit further than just running a scan and saying, I want to buy. I'm telling you, I've seen this, especially with Tesla. I know we had good news yesterday, but I've seen a lot of really smart traders not go deep enough in their effort. Sorry to say, I'm going to call you out on it. If you're struggling, you have to take it a step further. If you're struggling, you get, remember what I just said about feedback? You're getting feedback and you're not paying attention to the feedback. And if you keep banging your head against the wall, that's on you. You're not paying attention. I say one of the biggest mistakes that I made by far when I first started trading is I didn't pay attention. And I constantly use the word feedback now in the boot camp, because what feedback are you getting? What feedback are you getting? What feedback are you getting on your results? What feedback are you getting on the trade? What feedback are you getting based on that share size? That kind of stuff. Once you understand that every single trade you make is a lesson, it's a way to get better on the next trade and the next trade and the next trade. That's when trading becomes fun, because it's no longer you against the market. It's no longer your ego being assaulted on a trade that doesn't work out. It's you saying, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to learn. I'm going to do this, I'm going to improve. I'm going to do this, I'm going to improve. And that's really where you feel like the market, you expect to make money every day. You expect to make money every month. You might not make money every day, but you're going to expect to if you put on good ideas. And that's where trading becomes easier, it becomes fun. And quite honestly, that's where the consistency and the slow, steady, sometimes fast account growth comes from. Not because you can predict what's going to happen next, but because you know exactly what you're going to do. And that's in your control. So the same way that you're getting beat up a little bit right now, it's in your control to scale it back, which means you need to pay attention. You say, okay, the feedback I'm getting right now is a right hook, a left hook, a right hook, and a left hook, but you keep sticking your chin out. You got to lower it down, put something up and guard yourself a little bit, preserve precious capital until you turn it around. So we're actually going to start talking about Boeing today, which had good news this morning, but after the stock has actually rallied a lot, including today's rally, it's up 51% in November. So it's going to be perceived as good news, which it is good news, and very similar to Pfizer's good news, very similar to Moderna's good news. And those stocks sold off immediately after the good news. You have to let price action give you feedback before you decide to put your hard-earned money in harm's way. And we're going to use Boeing to set this table for a stock that should be on your watch list, but should not be buying today's higher opening unless maybe it's a day trade and you want to trade a stock that's active. It's been very good to day trade, but I'm not initiating a new swing trade where I think it's going to go up over the next 3 to 10 days because the odds are smaller and it's kind of after the fact. It's kind of a sell the news kind of event, but we still want to keep an eye on it for the next trade. So we're going to head over to the charts and look, if you're struggling with this kind of stuff, definitely click down and just learn about the boot camp. We've added so much more in meetings and training over the last couple of months based on feedback. Again, I'm doing what I'm telling you to do, which is listen to what's working, listen to what the community is telling you would be the most valuable information right now to see growth. And that's what's happening. So at the very least, if you're struggling right now, there's a gap between where you want to be and where you are. Click down and at least learn about it and see if it's for you. So we're going to take a look at Boeing and show you exactly what I mean. We've actually rocketed now. Again, it's 46% to here with today's higher opening. Now 11. It's actually more than it's probably about 52% right now. So it's actually opening all the way up here, which is phenomenal news. But it's after a 52% move higher. I'll day trade it today if it meets certain criteria, but I'm not initiating a new swing trade where I don't believe it's going to be higher over the next 3 to 10 days. And Ride, hopefully you caught Ride with us this week. The optimal entry was here last week, and now we're looking in profit-taking area. So a higher opening in Ride, which is actually another 9.5% higher. This would be where I'd be feeding the ducks, as Linda Bradford-Rashke says, in a flurry of buying where I'm already looking at it from the optimal entry and other traders are now chasing price. So learn this lesson and it will keep your odds of reward potential on the right side. We also have Coles today where we're looking for follow through. Really, really good earnings yesterday, opening slightly higher, breaking through the resistance level finally. So we're looking for follow through here. Again, not necessarily looking to initiate a longer term trade because these parabolic moves generally are kind of like the exhaustion of that move. We're looking for maybe 1, maybe 2 more days, but nothing longer than that. We're looking for a pause after that. So we're going to aggressively trade it the next 2 days if it meets criteria, and then look for a pause for that next longer term move, which caused this massive spike. The electric vehicle stocks, NIO had earnings last night, actually came out right now. It actually got hit right away, came right back, kind of trading slightly positive today, but that's okay. The stock's well bid now. XPEV, just to give everybody the stocks, LI and FSR. They all closed well. The first 3 closed well bid, but below the open. Today's open is going to be higher because of the earnings. Everybody's kind of like waiting, consolidating for it, and now we're looking for the next move. I don't like FSR until it's above 17, though. I want to see it well bid above 17, close strong, and then look for a move in that direction. We just recently discussed Moderna, which you can see here again, selling the news after, and this is very similar to what we're seeing in Boeing this morning. You can see the rally in the stock prior to the news coming out, went a little bit higher and now is sold off for the next 2 days. So again, today is the day to be looking to get involved in the stock, not on the day of the news, unless it's just a day trade. And you can see Pfizer here with obviously the same really good news, and the stock is down dramatically since the news came out. So again, the optimal entry, the right time to get inside, and the right catalyst, all of those things make a good trade. It's not one or the other or the other. You have to build that argument. And again, that's what we do as a community. That's what you do if you're a tape reader. You're putting the pieces together and saying, what are the odds of me getting paid? Not is this stock strong? Not is this a great entry? It's what are the odds of me getting paid if I get involved right now? How much do I have to risk for that in exchange for what I could make? So I'm looking at these today for a little bit of a reversal. Unity Software obviously traded in a pause 2 days ago, had a really nice breakout yesterday. If you weren't involved from the lower levels that we were talking about, now it's broke out and above 120, sets up another trade today too. Upwork, we're looking for profit taking today. We actually, back here last week was the optimal entry. We had another entry over here, but now it's a little bit too late on the higher opening. So we're actually looking as a swing trader to book some profits into a higher push opening today. So if we open flat and push higher, we are going to be looking to scale out of that. Getting a lot of questions about financial stocks. Morgan Stanley hit new highs yesterday. And what I love about this is that we had a bullish gap and a pause, a bullish gap and a pause, a bullish gap and a one-day pause and taking off again. So I'm looking to be a buyer of Morgan Stanley today. Going through some of the other ones, JP Morgan still not really giving us those 2 well-bid days in a row. Very frustrating, as a matter of fact. I haven't traded it, but it's frustrating because I keep waiting to jump in and there's nothing to do. Goldman has actually been trading a little bit better, and Discover Financial has been one that we've been talking about every day. Consolidated yesterday, closed near the highs, traded into what we would call a bullish U-turn, and we're looking for a bid there today as well. Solar stocks, a lot of people talking about solar stocks. These stocks are an absolute mess. We did make a trade yesterday, and again, we talked about it. They're in our watch list every single day, but you can clearly see that the tape has changed. JKS set up 2 days ago, did not give us an entry. Looking for more trade yesterday, again did not. So the tape, again, getting feedback. I'm not trading it hard, trading it hard, trading it hard. The stock is telling me no. Right now, no. So we stayed away from JKS. We looked over at Run yesterday, had a similar scenario, and we said, okay, if this stock does a certain thing, we're going to get involved. And we did, and the community made some really good trades in this stock yesterday, a couple of times as a day trade. And this is the difference between banging your head against a stock that was good 2 months ago versus a stock that's tradable now, and then shifting from chart reader to tape reader, saying, okay, today it's setting up in a certain way that we could look at it. We did, and it was a very good trade yesterday as well. I got out of it yesterday because for me, it was just a day trade because the sector is not, the industry is not trading well. Somebody had asked me, John had asked me later in the afternoon, why you're not holding it. I said, I haven't been able to make money in it. The stock's been down. It's been a lot of selling. It's giving us a really good, clean price action today. I'm going to ring the register and I'm going to look for something that's a little more obvious to hold a little bit longer. And I think OSTK fits that category again as well. Absolutely no order flow, but when the stock is in play, it is just an absolute beauty to be involved with. So you can see here, we actually traded into what you would consider a bear flag. I actually shorted it in the morning as it was breaking down below yesterday. Didn't follow through. It took a small loss. I'm like, all right, buyers came back in. The market internals are strong. The market's strong. This is a day trade only without longer term order flow. And it was a good opportunity yesterday as well. So energy stocks are strong right now too, before we head off. And we mentioned these yesterday. Some of them are a little bit extended. They actually had bullish U-turns yesterday, which is still really strong. I would have no problem starting to initiate a trade where you're building a position because of how far it's advanced, and a lot of these have advanced. They've clearly broken that longer term downtrend. We're seeing bullish gaps. We're holding the bullish gaps. We're seeing lower openings and reversal. Work the orders though. Don't be getting in there with full share size because of how far they've moved recently. And the last we're going to take a look at, we look at FANG and HES. So the energy sector, again, sticking with the sector rotation theme that we've been on, the solar stocks have kind of dried up as far as volatility and how obvious the tape is. The lower probability right now on the tape, and we've shifted over into energy stocks. We've shifted over into stocks that, or electric vehicle stocks. We've shifted over into trading stocks that have had positive bullish earnings and guidance that's following through. So we're not just sticking to the list and saying we're trading these stocks no matter what, like a lot of people did with Tesla for 3 or 4 months and got their head beat in. We're paying attention. When you learn to pay attention, trading becomes exciting. Trading becomes fun, and it's not this endeavor where you're like, what am I doing? I couldn't hit water if I fell out of a boat. It's not that anymore. Now you know exactly what you're looking at. You know the appropriate share size for the entries. And if you lose money, that's fine because it didn't give you feedback to get more shares. And if you make money, you have the most shares. I got a question yesterday, which I thought was a good one, that it said, sounds like I always enter with lower share size. And that's not the case at all. Absolutely not the case at all. What I am doing is entering with lower share size, excuse me, right now, because the market conditions are tough. They are tough, which means you got to step your game up. That's really what it comes down to. So I'm recognizing and walking everybody through the community. You should not have large share size unless we have perfect conditions. We don't have perfect conditions, which means lower initial share size, and let the market give us feedback and say, okay, dump those two, add to those two in the market environment that we're in now. When we have periods like we had with JKS and a lot of other stocks that have been going straight up pretty much for multiple months, like we had DocuSign earlier in the year and Wayfair and those stocks, we can get in a little more aggressively because we had the right picture. Again, we say there's A+ trades and everything away from an A+ trade. And we're kind of working away from A+ trades and trading some of the minimum criteria we have. We can still find winning trades, but we're not sizing up. That's what you want to learn how to do. When to size up, when to work the orders, and how to do both at the same time in individual sectors. If you have any questions, leave me a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Definitely subscribe to the channel. That would mean the world to me. And learn about the boot camp. If you're having some struggles right now, definitely click down and see what we got going on. Have a great day.